In the contemporary American labor market, patterns of racial representation reflect a complex interplay of historical, economic, and social forces. Certain employment fields show a significant overrepresentation of African Americans, while other fields have very small Black representation. Understanding why African Americans are concentrated in specific sectors requires examining not only labor statistics, but also the legalities of discrimination, educational access, systematic inequality, and cultural dynamics. So that's what we're getting into today. Hi, my name is Jared, and I talk about interesting stories and trends in Black culture, because Black culture is just so interesting to me. If you share my interest, hit that subscribe button and let's deep dive into some interesting Black culture and history in every episode. According to the data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, and the U.S. Census Bureau, African Americans are disproportionately represented in several occupational sectors. While representation does not necessarily imply discrimination or disadvantage, the underlying causes and consequences of this concentration warrant close scrutiny. But before I get into some of the blackest jobs in America, I want you guys to leave your guesses in the comments. Give me your top 3 fields you think have the highest Black percentages. And because my audience is just hilarious, I'm sure the comments are going to be filled with what people think are Black jobs. And a little disclaimer before I get started, I know that these are not the only Black jobs that there are in America. There's always somebody in the comments misrepresenting my ideas, and I want to get ahead of that now. Of course, Black people are in all types of sectors. These are just what the numbers say as far as the highest concentration to date. We will take a look at the top 5 fields with the highest Black percentages. Number 1, healthcare support occupations. Black people are significantly overrepresented in healthcare support roles, particularly as nursing assistants, home health aides, and personal care aides. According to the BLS, as of 2023, approximately 35% of nursing assistants are African American, although African Americans make up only about 13% of the US population. And this trend is not new. There's a long history of African Americans working in caregiving roles during and after slavery. During the Reconstruction and Jim Crow eras, African Americans, especially women, were often relegated to roles as domestic workers, nannies, and caregivers. These roles became institutionalized pathways into the labor market. Even as segregation ended, African Americans found better access to entry-level healthcare positions than to roles requiring advanced degrees, such as physicians or administrators, due to the barriers in education and licensing. Caregiving is high upon the list of some of the most incredible and difficult work anybody can do. So thank you for those in the field in whatever capacity. Shout out to all of our caregivers. And number 2, we have protective service occupations. African Americans also show higher representation in protective services, particularly in urban law enforcement and correctional officer roles. BLS data indicates that about 28% of security guards and 27% of correctional officers are African American. This is a complex dynamic often driven by economic opportunity, community stability, and recruitment practices in heavily Black urban areas. In cities with large Black populations, police departments often recruit locally, leading to a higher Black representation. However, this overrepresentation in enforcement roles does not necessarily translate to leadership positions within police departments. And number 3, we have transportation and material moving. The transportation sector, including roles such as bus drivers, subway operators, and delivery personnel, also sees a significant number of African American workers. According to the BLS, African Americans make up about 26% of public transportation workers. The roots of this overrepresentation go back to the Great Migration, during which millions of African Americans moved from the rural South to industrial cities in the North and West in search of better economic opportunities. Many found stable work in manufacturing and transportation. While the manufacturing sector has seen massive declines, transportation jobs, particularly those associated with public infrastructure and logistics, have remained a constant employment avenue for many urban African American communities. And up until recently, these jobs provided wealth for families across the country, with some even having great government pensions and other retirement plans. As life has gotten dramatically more expensive in recent years, it's doubtful if these jobs will be able to provide the middle-class lifestyle they once provided. And as autonomous driving vehicles are becoming more and more common, we might want to get out of this field as soon as we can. At number 4, we have public administration and civil service. Black people are also significantly overrepresented in government jobs, particularly in administrative support and clerical roles. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission notes that about 18% of federal employees are African American. This trend has its roots in the civil rights movement, when the federal government became one of the largest employers to implement affirmative action and equal opportunity policies. As a result, many African Americans sought civil service jobs because they offered more protection against racial discrimination than the private sector. These jobs provided stability, benefits, and a pathway to middle-class status for many Black families, especially during times when corporate opportunities were limited or overly discriminatory. And this is also one of the reasons why areas surrounding Washington, D.C. have some of the highest median incomes for Black households. A lot of those jobs were federal jobs that pay well and produce thriving Black communities. And at number 5, lastly, we have to include this: entertainment and sports. Though not traditionally grouped with other labor sectors, the entertainment and sports industry deserve mention due to the highly visible overrepresentation of African Americans. Black athletes dominate professional football and basketball, while Black musicians and performers are central to genres like hip hop, R&B, and gospel. However, this overrepresentation can be misleading. The entertainment industry is highly selective, competitive, and does not provide a stable income for the vast majority. The overrepresentation of African Americans in certain employment sectors is not a coincidence. While these roles have sustained many families and communities, they also highlight the persistent boundaries that continue to shape Black labor in America. Understanding these dynamics is a crucial step in dismantling systemic inequality and building a labor market where African Americans can thrive across all professions. We did a video a while back that looks into high-paying jobs with very little diversity, so please check that out to see fields that we really should be getting into. Even though with AI coming, I don't even know what those fields are. So we should all just be basically learning AI, and more AI. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'll check you guys out on the next one.